Welcome to Smithville Chamber Chatter, coming to you from historic Smithville, Texas. We're here to talk about all things Smithville, including upcoming events, updates and tips for and about local businesses, important news, election updates, and more. Brought to you by the Smithville Area Chamber of Commerce, I'm your host, April Daniels. Welcome to our podcast. Good afternoon and welcome to the Smithville Chamber Chatter with your host, April Daniels. We are excited to be continuing our Chamber Chatter podcast, sponsored by the Smithville Area Chamber of Commerce. Our guests today are Bridgette Padgett with Bridgette Graduation and three Smithville High School seniors, Carlee Parsons, Clay Padgett, and Sophie Morgan. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining our podcast today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Of course. I'm going to ask you, Bridgette, to tell our listeners a little bit about Bridgette Graduation's history, what you were planning for the 2020 seniors, and what instead you're planning now in light of the changes to the end of the school year in response to COVID-19.
Okay, thank you, April. Bridgette Graduation was started as a way to give children a safe haven on graduation evening and not be out drinking and driving. It was originally, TxDOT came up with the idea. The different schools have started putting it on, and it became an actual organization foundation known as Bridgette Graduation. And each school has their own, I guess you would say, franchise of that. So through Bridgette Graduation, this is actually my second year. I'm the president this year. I was vice president last year. And our goals for this year were to raise money for the seniors for both their senior trip, which they were going to go to Fiesta, Texas in San Antonio and have a day off school. They actually closed the park down to just seniors. And it's a fun day for them to get to celebrate with their senior friends and kind of finish off their school year. And then our second part was our Bridgette Graduation evening after graduation was to take place at the Smithville Rec Center. And they would have been there from 11 p.m. until 5 a.m. And we had all kinds of activities from casino night, bucking bull, a obstacle course, karaoke, and there was going to be prizes and gifts for all of the kids. Due to the COVID-19 and school being closed, all of that had to change. So the senior trip was canceled along with Bridgette Graduation. So we're taking the funds that have been raised for Bridgette Graduation and using them to buy gift cards for all of the seniors to help them with whatever their next step of their journey is.
Thank you, Bridgette. That sounds like a wonderful program. And I know our seniors that are joining us today are going to miss out on both of those, are really going to miss both of those activities, but I'm sure they really appreciate the gift cards that you're going to give them instead. I can also tell that you're very moved by everything that's happening with the seniors, and I understand that one of your own children is a senior that is graduating this year, so we appreciate you and all your hard work and all the hard work of all the parents that go into congratulating and honoring our seniors as they graduate from school here. I'd like to thank the three Smithville ISD seniors who have joined us today. I know it's been challenging for all of you to miss out on the traditional end of your senior year. Carlee, Clay, and Sophie, can you talk a little bit about the work you've been doing to complete your studies with Smithville ISD and what you plan to do once you graduate? We'll start with you, Carlee.
Okay. Well, basically, we've been having classes on Zoom or Google Meets, and then we would find our assignments in Google Classroom. They've been giving us a little bit more work than they usually do, but we're working on it. After high school, I'm going to go to Texas A&M University to major in biomedical sciences, and hopefully I will attend a professional school for pharmacy.
Wow, that's really impressive. Thank you, Carlee. Clay, how about you?
Yeah, as Carlee said, we're just doing online class. So with like our more advanced classes that require actual help from our teachers, we're doing Zoom calls like our calculus, my calculus class. And then through Google Classroom, the other classes are just giving us work to work on. And I'm getting that done. And after high school, I'm attending Colorado School of Mines in Golden, Colorado, and I'm going to play football and major in mathematics and find career path in that.
You're going to major in mathematics? Well, better than you than me, buddy. That sounds pretty fantastic. I know that Bridgette, since she also works here at the Chamber, is always talking about you, Clay. And I so appreciate all the times that you've worked and volunteered for us and for community events. We thank you very much for that. Finally, we're down to Sophie Morgan, who, by the way, is also our Smithville ISD valedictorian.
So like Carlee and Clay said, we've been doing a lot of work through Google Classroom and also AP Classroom. We've been having meets for our high school classes, and then we've been kind of like managing our dual credit and college classes just through Blackboard, and those have gone completely online. After high school, I also plan to attend Texas A&M University with Carlee, and I'm going to major in kinesiology and then hopefully attend a professional school to get my doctoral degree in occupational therapy.
Wow, that's really impressive. Thank you very much, Sophie. I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's podcast, Mars Jones Funeral Home. Thank you so much for your support of our podcast today. Bridgette, how can our listeners give to Project Graduation if they'd like to support what your organization is doing for our seniors?
The easiest way for them to do that is they can write a check and mail it to us at P.O. Box 73, Smithville, Texas, 78957, and checks are made out to Smithville High School Project Graduation.
Great. Thank you, Bridgette. Sophie, as valedictorian of the Smithville ISD class of 2020, is there anything you'd like to say to your fellow classmates or to the community as a whole?
Yeah, so I just wanted to start off by thanking the community for really coming together and supporting the seniors at this time. I've watched a ton of parents and staff members really come together and work with senior adoptions, which is a little thing on Facebook where people who are supporting the seniors can come together and make a little gift for the seniors. And there are still 40 seniors who haven't been adopted. So if you're willing to adopt a senior, you can head over to Facebook and look up Smithville High School Senior Adoptions and adopt a senior. It's really important to me that everyone gets adopted and everyone feels special. And most importantly, I wanted to thank my classmates for really coming together during this time and pushing through this with a smile on their face. I know from my personal experience, it's been hard knowing that we're missing out on 3 of the best months that we've looked forward to for 13 years. But I know it's only going to make us stronger and we're going to come out better in the end because of it.
That's great. Thank you so much, Sophie.
You're welcome.
I want to thank all three of our seniors and Bridgette Padgett as well for appearing with us today for our Smithville Chamber Chatter podcast. As a quick update, I want to remind everyone that the community came together and the Chamber worked hard to get all of our seniors put on banners that will be posted up and down Main Street. They just came in about 10 minutes ago and we're busily sorting through them, and we will have them completely installed by early next week. So that actually would be by the day of this airing of this podcast. They should be up and ready for you to come downtown and take a look at. We invite our listeners to join us next week when our guest will be Representative John Cyrier. Watch all of our podcasts on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, or follow us on Spotify. Again, thank you to all my guests. And until next week, we'll see you on Main Street.
Thank you for listening to Smithville Chamber Chatter with your host, April Daniels. If you'd like to be a guest, email us at april.daniels@smithvilletx.org. Between now and our next episode, be sure to check out the Chamber's website at www.smithvilletx.org. Until then, we'll see you on Main Street.